Two Journeys Ministry with Pastor Andy Davis. Biblical teaching to guide you to spiritual maturity.
All right, so you have the handout there, and we have the first page has been the same on every handout. I'm not going to walk through these, but as I was beginning to think of the topic of Jesus as the perfect man and as the perfect role model for manhood or masculinity, I broke it into two kind of conceptions of Jesus. First, his various roles that he played, listed there: servant, warrior, prophet, provider, protector, king, healer, counselor, judge, leader, builder, and priest. Each of these, and there are probably others besides, we have biblical evidence for in the four Gospels. If you think, as the scholars seem to tell us, that Jesus had a very brief ministry, if we look at the cycle of feasts in the Gospel of John, that's the only way we would know how long Jesus ministered. But it seems like about 3 years that Jesus did his ministry. We also have a sense of ever-escalating heat in his relationship with the Jewish leaders. So that ministry was not going to go on for decades or years after years. They wanted to kill him right away. I mean, his fellow townsmen wanted to kill him there in Nazareth right away. And so the heat was under the pot from the start, and it wasn't going to be long. And then in John's Gospel, John chapter 2, Jesus cleanses the temple right away. I mean, like not long after changing the water to wine. And that made him certainly enemies, bitter enemies with the Annas, Caiaphas, and the high priest and all that. So it wasn't going to last long. So let's just say 3 years. That seems about right. Jesus did an incredible amount in 3 years. You look at all of these offices, these roles that he played, and if your mind goes to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and you see him as a prophet speaking the words of God, you see him definitely as a healer. That's easy. You see him as a leader, knowing exactly what he had come to earth to do and doing it. You see him certainly as king. Didn't deny that at all. He was king of the Jews and was setting up his kingdom, calling people to his kingdom. Right? All of these roles. How could he ever do so much in such a short amount of time? I was saying to Christy yesterday, I had a list of a bunch of things I wanted to do yesterday, and I did 2/3 of them. And I felt like I wish I'd done more. Have you ever felt like that at the end of a day? You wish you'd done more? I think it's amazing. As I ponder it, I think this is true. Jesus never felt like that, ever. Think about that. He never went to bed thinking, I wish I'd done more today. He did exactly what the Father wanted him to do that day, every day. I mean, that's a miracle. And not only that, but do you not see Jesus as an eminently interruptible person? Like, he had time for children, right? He had time for anybody coming up and talking to him. I don't know how you get a bunch of things done if you're that approachable and that interruptible. It's a miraculous level of efficiency, effectiveness, interruptibility, accessibility, all of these things. It's amazing. 20 centuries later, still talking about this life. So I looked at those roles, and then I started thinking about attributes.